Now, I've tried to figure a nice segue from Jussie Smollett into Michael Avenatti, and I thought of it this way, Scott. You know, Avenatti talked about running for president. What do you think about a Michael Avenatti, Jussie Smollett Democratic ticket to take on Donald Trump?
It's a little too white at the top of that ticket, and
Yeah, that's true.
a little too male overall. Tim, come on, this is 2019 here.
It must be my white privilege, Scott. Now, the basis, the foundational charge here is that he engaged in pretty massive extortion scheme that would he demanded, what was it, $20 million?
Yes, and Tim, I think it's important to specify why was this extortion rather than just some sort of legal demand. What separates this from, for instance, his former client, Stormy Daniels, threatened to expose private facts about the president, and she got a six-figure check for it. What's the difference? Well, the difference is there was actually a client. In other words, her attorney, Mr. Davidson, was acting on her behalf, not to enrich himself, and it was about the publication of private facts in some kind of a book form. That's not what happened here. Michael Avenatti somehow discovered these facts, alleged negative information about Nike and potential recruiting violations. And he had some client, and the idea was that he presented Nike the following. Nike would pay his client, I think it was $1 million or $1.5 million, and then they would pay him and his partner, Mr. Garagos, some $20+ million as a consulting fee. But the thing is, that was all bogus, Tim. It wasn't a consulting fee. It was just a payoff in order to bury this information, which Avenatti believed would hurt Nike's sale price, and which they would run to cover up. And that's what we have. That's why it's an extortionate plot, and that's why it's a federal crime.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Tim.
This program, Liberty Nation Radio and LibertyNation.com's own podcast, The Uprising, hosted by Scott, and The Rabbit Hole, Politics and Prose with LibertyNation.com managing editor Mark Angelides, are available to you on demand online at LibertyNation.com and from fine podcast providers everywhere. So that is it for this week, but we'll be back at you next week, same time, same station. Till then, this is Tim Donner saying stand up for liberty, and we'll see you next time on Liberty Nation Radio.